No need. This is true. It really is. I have been here for 57 years. So, the things the teacher taught me, that's why I respect the teacher so much. I bow to the teacher every day, feeling grateful. He doesn't call me. What I mean is, I will be poor for life. This is all taught by him, which makes me believe that I am capable of hard work. So there really is a great way to generate wealth. You give and you share. Is that the wisdom of being clever? The meticulous care for health and longevity. Then we shall practice these 3 forms of charity. So I can't get sick. I often tell him that I don't have medical expenses. My medical expenses haven't disappeared. You really are not sick and are very healthy. So many people are envious when they see you like this. Yes, it's because I am now in Australia and I live in Toowoomba, where there is a hospital. I send $10,000 for medical expenses every month. So what about the poor? That's $120,000 a year continuously. And there's also this aspect of Christianity. A palliative care center, although it is run by Christianity, is open to all religions. He doesn't oppose it. You, a seriously ill person, go there to perform Buddhist rituals. To please him, he takes care of it. So I have to give him $10,000 every month. This is $240,000 a year given to him every year. This is what is called being meticulous. Health and longevity are not just about being healthy and living long. Yes, it's something everyone can personally verify. Every person in the world is like this. Right, it doesn't necessarily have to be a monk. Not at all. Anyone can be like this. Because it is a principle, it is indeed correct, as long as you are willing to believe and are serious about doing it. Faith, yes. You must be sensing that there is another important question regarding your cash flow. I would like to continue consulting you about something you mentioned before. If there were to be an outbreak of an epidemic, that would indeed be significant. One of the main reasons that many people are affected is due to the current state of society. The chaos in sexual relationships leads to promiscuity. This is the first reason. So, everyone, can you explain why this is the case? This issue is the first factor. Aside from this factor, the consequences of harmful actions are too severe. The karma of killing is too heavy. It includes killing, theft, and sexual immorality altogether. You remember these grievances with all sentient beings, especially now, when you mention Qin Liu Gan. Those beings, several million, have been killed. Can this solve the problem? There are only a few chickens and ducks, and they have a slight cold. In the past, in rural China, a little medicine would cure them quickly. How can you completely kill something you are supposed to care for? What about the karmic retribution that comes from that? This plague is brought about by such actions. Therefore, our attitude towards this plague is completely wrong. If you have sick pigs, you treat them. You can't just kill them all. Where's the logic in that? If a person has a cold, do you kill all the people too? This is completely a misunderstanding of the true facts. What has been caused by this?
In our daily lives, the education we receive is actually about cherishing life. However, in reality, students might ask, isn't that about cherishing life? For example, as you mentioned, if 2 hens catch a cold and then 1,000,000 hens are killed, that is not cherishing life, right?
You need to take care of those sick animals. You should get them treated. So that's why we have veterinarians who specialize in this kind of illness. In China, we do not have such a situation. Since ancient times, families have treated their sick animals. So, generally, both urban and rural families have this common knowledge.
So it hasn't led to this situation now. This problem is too serious. That Brazilian prophet said that in a few decades, the world's population will see a significant decrease due to various disasters.
Yes.
How do you suggest we tell everyone how we should view this matter? This prediction, when the time comes
Nightingale, fruit package are the collective karma of all beings. The current collective karma is extremely unwholesome. Who feels this kind of retribution? It is very likely. How should we face it? We should strive to break away and repair ourselves. I can improve myself well. It will touch the people around me. Only after you have established yourself can you help others. Only after having a system can you guide people. If you cannot save yourself, how can you help others? Who would believe what you say?
Now even economists can't save themselves, and scientists can't prevent earthquakes either. Oh dear, that's true.
So with our approach, we can avoid some disasters. If more Buddhists were to adopt this practice, they would see the benefits, and they are studying it here. Why is it that their approach can avoid disasters? He went on to study it, and well, let him study it. In the end, it's best for you to study the Buddhist scriptures. That's where you can truly find the correct answers. But when doing this research on the classics, you must have a sincere heart. Just like my interactions with many foreign religious leaders. You are like my this. Vashid, I am with this. This. Madil, this is the leader of the home. I seize ancient Nanjing. I am the most devout Muslim. If I were not the most devout Muslim, I would not understand the Quran. He was not convinced. I say I am a good student of Manhamand. I understand this education. So when I express things, I am no worse than that Imam. What about your heart? There is no opposition, no arrogance, just the thought of I am not as good as you. Yes. With this thought absent, he can understand this. He can understand it. I say Sakyamuni Buddha is my teacher. Jesus is my teacher. Muhammad is also my teacher. Moses is also my teacher, and I am their best student.
Do I understand these things? Shouldn't humanity also avoid looking down on religion in their hearts? That's right, science comes first, but that is completely wrong.
Only by letting go can you be correct. You must let go of your words in order to accept and understand that there is something good in every religion. So regarding my own experience, in religion, about 80% of it can be shared. In different places, at most 20% is the same. So what about the other 80%? That's the details of life, the differences in their living environments. The lifestyles are different, and it's about those aspects. The general principles and directions are all the same, and we are asking you our final question.
It is when people encounter wind disasters, floods, earthquakes, fires, and face plagues and famines, right?
What should we ordinary people do? The most important thing is to keep a steady heart. You need to be calm. Don't let your heart be disturbed. When trouble comes, keep your heart steady. With a steady heart, you will have wisdom, and you will know how to support him. Don't panic. Don't be afraid. This is the highest principle. As soon as you hear this, if you feel flustered, then everything will be in chaos. You must accept the consequences of the disaster. When you have done wrong and you need to repent, in these times, you should repent and strive to change. As long as one can amend their ways, as the ancients said, who among people is without faults? The ability to improve is of utmost importance.
One of the topics discussed here is the issue of Western values. We have some statistics and analyses. Let me read them to you. So what about now? Globally, the economy has integrated and values have also unified. We can observe a trend, for example, where countries around the world are encouraging everyone to consume, stimulating the desire for consumption. However, in Buddhist teachings, this is referred to as encouraging greed. Encourage greed. The second point is to encourage competition, meaning that only the winners can survive, so everyone must strive. There is competition in politics, economy, military, and technology. So, what about the people in our lives? Countries encourage everyone to take up the weapon of law to defend their own interests. In that case, it reinforces opposition and stimulates conflict. In Buddhist terms, this is called hatred, encouraging anger and provoking resentment. The third characteristic is the encouragement of indulgence in eating, drinking, and having fun, putting pleasure above all else. Moreover, it promotes flaunting such behavior. Why do people earn money? What is the point of earning so much? Isn't it just to enjoy these things? So, working oneself to the bone is all about having money, cars, houses, lovers, fame, power, and a green card. Only then does life have meaning, wealth and honor. This is the bathhouse in the fish pond. The distinction between right and wrong is mixed up, causing confusion. Values fill the world, teaching ignorance according to Buddhist principles. Finally, it is about selfishness and indifference, being self-centered and prioritizing personal interests above all. Other people, including parents and relatives, are deemed unimportant. For the sake of money, one can become unkind, and on an international level, this attitude exists in both developed and underdeveloped countries. The powerful bully the weak. This is referred to as arrogance. In Buddhist teachings, we mentioned this earlier. This is a world filled with greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance, where everyday society encourages the public, and people from various countries around the world are engaging in these actions. These are the seeds of floods, fires, storms, and earthquakes. So in the future, when these disasters occur, it should not be surprising when analyzed according to Buddhist teachings. Right.
It should also include plagues, very serious disasters. These are all the result of the negative actions of sentient beings. The current industrial situation is not limited to one region, it is global. Therefore, we should calmly reflect on the apocalyptic themes mentioned in many religions. They can be believed.
Over 100 years ago, our country was impoverished and weak. We were very small and vulnerable at that time. During the late Qing and early Republic of China, Chinese people believed in a saying that goes, "The tide of the world is vast and unstoppable. Those who follow will prosper, while those who resist will perish." Now, over 100 years later, the tides of the world have changed, and we can describe it. The strongest in the economy reign supreme, competing fiercely and being wary of one another. This has become a trend in the world. What should we do? Should we conform to it to prosper, or resist it and face demise?
This talk, our neighbor is Japan. The situation is similar to that of China. When Western culture came rushing in, Japan was more adept than us. Maintain traditional culture, absorb Western culture. As for us, we are abandoning traditional culture and entirely turning to the West for learning. So, Japan has surpassed us by a great deal. The reason is that Japan understands that many of our own things are very superior. We should not abandon it. Even to this day, you can see that Japan and South Korea still uphold their traditional cultures. Respect for traditional culture. It's completely different from us, so our suffering is greater than theirs. Isn't it clear and obvious about the situation regarding the UK? Then we can no longer awaken. We have great suffering and difficulties ahead. Definitely. This world cannot turn back. That is what the prophets, in their religious classics say. The end of the world has come. What we are seeing now are all signs of the end of the world.
On May 5, 2008, when you were teaching the Avatamsaka Sutra, you mentioned something like this. Today, humanity has really gotten into big trouble. Indeed, many people are aware that this issue has led to a serious disaster. So what should we do now? How can we turn back? How can we remedy this? People are afraid of more disasters.
If you can really believe tradition, believe in your ancestors, and go back to seek guidance from them. If you study the disciples' regulations, well, you will be able to avert disasters and difficulties. Unlike the three of us, you only need to start learning one. You must begin from this, because it is the foundation of foundations. If you can learn page 13 of the Book of Responses, then your future will be bright.
In other places, there are disasters, but we don't have any here. That's true.
Even in the face of disaster, you are still favored by destiny.
You once said that if today's people no longer believe in Buddhism, no longer believe in cause and effect, and no longer believe in our ancestors, then this world will be beyond saving. Indeed. Let's expand on this idea. Can we say that if a person or a family no longer believes in Buddhism and cause and effect, they are beyond help? Yes.
Society nation must follow law truth. However, believing in Buddhism is not such a simple matter. The ancients said it well, without someone to explain Buddhism, even if one knows about it, they cannot truly understand. Very few people can truly let go of their delusions and attachments. Confucian teachings. Such people are becoming increasingly rare now. Several people died in early years of the Republic. There are a few that have withered before my eyes. Huang the Anju from China was truly insightful. He passed away a few days ago. Is it really decreasing?
Does this mean that the blessings of people are becoming shallower, and that without anyone to teach them, no one will save them, and ultimately, no one will be saved?
So now we look forward to the younger generation to truly let go, is what I refer to as 10 years of hard study. Achieve yourself, and then you can continue the wisdom of Buddha. Help all beings. You must completely let go. Only then can you enter the door, which I often mention. Selfishness and self-interest. You must let go of the enjoyment of worldly desires and the attachments of greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance. Only then can you enter the door. If you do not let go, this will be an obstacle. Buddhism comes to teach you, but you still cannot enter.
What you are talking about is about cultivating teachers. Yes, it is about nurturing the power to save this world.
Well, at least 10 years. 10 years is just a small achievement in a small town. Great achievements usually take 20 to 30 years.
With the people you mentioned being cultivated, many families in human society will be impacted.
A nation has a promising future if we can utilize these advanced technologies. The internet, each satellite television uses this to spread information. Truly, in a small photography studio, teachings can benefit people all over the world.
Through satellite television, that's right, everyone can see it.